Okay, so in this simple example of JavaScript, we are going to create a small application that just adds up numbers. What we're going to start off with is to take a h1 element called counter. I'm going to give it an ID so that I can call that element from JavaScript. So here I've got a h1 with an ID of display counter. And then the next thing we're going to do is to add a button that the user can click, and when the user clicks, it's going to add one to a number. So here's the button. So I have a counter, h1 counter, and then I have a button which, when I click, doesn't actually do anything at the moment. But we can change that now. So all JavaScript resides in a special tag called script. And what happens is that when the page loads, the browser will go through any script tags and execute that code. So here, the first thing it's going to do is to declare a variable called counter and make it equal to 0. Then it's going to create a function called display counter. And in this function, we are going to use the document. We're going to get an element by ID. The element is the counter, so that's ID is display counter. And I'm going to set its inner text to equal the value of the counter variable. Then I'm going to call the display counter function. So when I run this web page, we get the counter equals to 0. Now, the button doesn't do anything at the moment, so we'll fix that now. And the way that we fix that is that we use an attribute called onClick. So when the user clicks the button, we are now telling the browser to run a function called inc, which we will execute now, which we will define now. So the inc function is just going to increment our counter. It's going to say counter equals counter plus 1, and then updates the menu, update the title. So now when I click the button, my counter is going up and up and up. And that's a very simple example of JavaScript.